Hi everyone, this is Brian Sa here. Thank you for joining our webinar where we'll be talking about Desk Connect and how to synchronize your data between Desk and Salesforce. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide here. My name is Brian Sa. I'm the onboarding and training specialist here at Desk. And we also have on the line Amrita. She's one of our customer wow specialists. Amrita, do you want to give a brief introduction of kind of yourself and what you do here and kind of your expertise?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Amrita. I'm the customer wow specialist at Desk Support. I basically help customers integrate their Salesforce orgs with Desk, and right now I'm providing support about Desk Connect and explaining the difference between integration and Desk Connect. And today I'm going to talk about Desk Connect and give you a small demo on it.
All right, thanks, Amrita, and thanks so much for joining. So before we get started, we'll just go over a few housekeeping items. Our entire session today will last just about 45 minutes. We want to dedicate about a half hour to the actual training portion, where we talk about kind of the things to consider before and after enablement. We'll actually walk you through step by step how to set up things on the desk side as well as the Salesforce side. So following that chunk of the training, we want to dedicate some time for Q&A. So if you guys have questions during the training portion, go ahead and type those into the GoToWebinar questions panel, and then we'll get all of those answered towards the end. And we do have a small group here, so I do encourage you guys to ask your specific workflow questions or any specific questions that you guys have. This is a great opportunity for that. Also, today our session is being recorded, so if you can't stay with us for the entire time, or if you maybe just want to watch the webinar again to kind of walk you through the name of process, we'll be emailing out the recording via YouTube. And you can also find these on our playlist as well as our video support center that's on our support site. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and hand it off to Amrita, and she's going to walk us through Disconnect.
All right, thank you, Brian. So let's get started. Let's first understand what Desk Connect really is. So Desk Connect is a bidirectional sync between Desk and Salesforce, meaning that it will directly sync with the native object in Salesforce, which will be cases, contacts, and accounts. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Desk Connect basically syncs account case with desk, meaning that sync with cases, accounts sync with companies, and contacts in Salesforce sync with customers in desk. All of the case interactions also sync between Salesforce and Desk. I will be showing that to you in the demo. So your cases from Desk can be brought over to Salesforce along with all of the email interactions with the customers. The best part about Desk Connect is that it gives you the ability to create reports and dashboards in Salesforce for your desk cases. So that's the awesome part about Desk Connect. Moving on, why do we need Desk Connect? Why connect sales and service? So oftentimes in organizations, we have a sales team and a service team, and not necessarily they both are using the same orgs. Maybe the sales team is using, but the service team is using Desk for support. So what do? So when we use Desk Connect, we can sync all of the information that the service team sees to be able to provide the same information to the sales team, which is just looking at Salesforce. So for the sales teams, it gives them more insight when talking to customers because they can see their support cases. It gives them ability to address customer problems more quickly and then also predict customer issues and be proactive. For the services team, they have a better understanding of what's happening on the sales side, what's the conversation between the account executive and the customer, understand the full customer history and be more efficient. So basically, to sum it up, it's like the 360-degree view of the customer that Desk Connect can provide us with. Here are the important things to consider before and after we enable Desk Connect. So important things to consider pre-enablement. The edition that Desk Connect can be available for is Professional Edition and above. We need to high, medium, and low in Salesforce to be able to sync with Desk. Case statuses need to be new, open, pending, and resolved because they need to sync or be parallel with desk, and this is customizable, so that's the great part about it. We having the desk professional plan or above to be able to use Desk Connect. Object mapping is very understand how the sync really happens. So the desk customer object syncs with the sales, the desk company syncs with Salesforce accounts, and desk cases sync with Salesforce cases. And the standard case object is visible within layouts. I'll be showing that to you in the demo as well. Here are the important things to consider post-enablement. So we need to remember that only new and edited records are synced, meaning that when you turn Desk Connect on, from that point onwards, all the new created cases or updated cases will sync. We do not have historical sync at this time, but we're still working on getting that available for you guys as well. We sync with the standard case object in Salesforce. So those of you who are using Salesforce integration up at this point will no longer need to look at the Desk.com case object, but instead can just look at the case object in Salesforce. Syncing time needs to be considered as well. We just need to know that Desk to Salesforce is immediate, meaning that if you create a case in Desk, it will instantaneously sync with the case in Salesforce, or the case in Salesforce appears almost at the same moment when you create a case in Desk. However, the sync from Salesforce to Desk can take about 5 minutes. Standard field mappings. So these are the field mappings that do not need any manual intervention or any custom fields or anything that you need to do. These will sync automatically between case, contact, and account. For cases, we sync status, priority, subject, and description. For contacts, we sync name, title, phone, and email. And for accounts, we sync account name. It's important we remember this. So if you want to take notes, you can just remember what fields really sync between Desk and Salesforce. Custom field mappings. For the fields that do not sync directly and you really wanted them to sync, we have custom fields that you can create in both orgs, and then we can map the two under Desk Connect field mappings. The custom fields that are available for syncing right now are we have text, checkbox, and date. These are the fields that can sync with Salesforce. Case number is not synced by default. It is still achievable with custom field mapping, meaning that you can create a text field in Desk and Salesforce and sync numbers through the text field. And the best part about Desk Connect, as opposed to the Salesforce integration, the managed package, is that it does not count against the Salesforce API limit. All right, moving on. So walkthrough. So I'm gonna give you a small demo right now with my test orgs, which is my Desk and my Salesforce org. So I have a few tabs open. This is my test agent console. This is my admin. So all of your admin should basically look like this. If you don't have Desk Connect right now, basically you don't want to. So this is what your admin looks like. This is what your Salesforce generally looks like. Here's the setup. Let me actually go to the setup to start with. So this is my Salesforce setup. So in order to set up Desk Connect, the first step would be you tell us that you want Desk Connect enabled, or you tell your account executive, whoever you want to discuss it with. Once you let us know that you want Desk Connect enabled, we'll be flagging a setting on our system's configurations end, and then we'll let you know that we've enabled Desk Connect for you from our end, and then after that you guys have to do these steps that I'm going to show you in the demo to get Desk Connect up and running. So let's start with the Salesforce setup first. So in your Salesforce setup, you click on Setup first, and then what you want to do is you want to make sure that your status and priority fields are set up correctly. I'm going to go into cases, so customize, and then cases under that, and I'm going to click on fields, which are my standard fields. So my standard fields are status and priority that I'm going to look at. So let's look at status. So this is what I need to have in my Salesforce case status pick. I have a closed value, but we recommend you do not want to use a closed status value because closed cases or closed statuses are not synced between Desk and Salesforce at this point. So all you want to have is new, open, pending, and resolved. Let's go back to status fields, and then let's see what priority is all about. So priority, like I said in the slides, it needs to be high, medium, and low. In case you wanted custom priority values, you can always have them, and you can talk to one of us later on to really correctly map the custom priority values between Desk and Salesforce. So this is with the status and priority. We checked whether the status and priority was correctly set up parallelly with Desk values. Now, the last thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the case-related list is on the account and contact page layouts. Now, why do we want to do that? For example, if you're looking for an account in Salesforce, which is basically a company in Desk, and if you wanted to see cases under that account, you will be able to see them if you have the case-related list on the account page layout. So I'm clicking on accounts, and I have a bunch of test accounts here. Test is my test account. I click on edit layout here. And in this little area here, this is where I can drop fields. So I click on related lists. And then I make sure that cases here is somewhere on this page layout. The reason you see this grayed out is because it's already here. So if cases were already here, I just have to drag and drop it anywhere on the screen below, like I just did with groups. Then you click on save, say yes, and that's it. You do the same with contacts. So I click on a contact here. This is my test contact. I do the same thing. I basically click on related lists, and I make sure that cases here appear somewhere here. So then later on, when I open a contact, I can see the cases under it. I'm going to show you that just in a bit. So let's see here. So this is my contact page, but I have a bunch of cases that I can see under my contact. So that makes it really easy for us to search for cases as well. And then you also have your cases object where you can generally have a look at all of the cases that's saying you can create your own views in Salesforce to be able to see cases that that are coming from Desk. Yeah, so the Desk side, thank you, Brian. The Desk side, pretty much all you need to do is you need to click on settings here. And once we have enabled Desk Connect from our end, from the system's configurations end, you will be seeing under settings, you'll be seeing the Desk Connect option right here. So I click on Desk Connect, and it takes a little while to load. Okay, so this is my Desk Connect screen. So right now the toggle is on, but if it's the first time that you're turning Desk Connect on, you'll not see any of this. You'll just see a toggle. Once you turn it on, there'll be a counter that counts down in seconds. It'll take about 5 minutes for Desk Connect to be set up correctly. And then once that is set up, you will be able to see the screen. So you see how you have 3 tabs here, company, customer, and case. So for company, we have 2 toggles, Salesforce to Desk, Desk to Salesforce. For customer, we have 2 toggles, Salesforce to Desk, Desk to Salesforce, and case is the same thing. So this is how you decide whether you want the bidirectional sync on or not. So for example, if I did not want my contacts to be synced from Salesforce to Desk, what I would do is I would click on the customer tab here, and if I did not want Salesforce to Desk to be synced, I would just turn this off and then click Save. So going forward, my Salesforce contacts will not sync to Desk, but my Desk customers would still sync with Salesforce. Another interesting part we have is we have selective sync. So selective sync really lets you sync on a record-by-record basis. So for example, if I wanted the freedom to choose what records I want synced with Salesforce, I could do that. All I need to do is I need to create a custom field of the type list. And then once I do that, I just need to add that field here. So if I just click on, let me show you in a case. If I wanted to choose what cases I wanted to sync between Desk and Salesforce, all I have to do is I need to enter a condition here. And then, okay, this will show up, and I've already created a field called sync with SF. And I'm going to say, only when I say sync with SF is yes, I want to sync to Salesforce. And how did I create that field? I created a field to create, normal fields in your desk org. So I created a field from here. So this is my sync with SF field. And where do I see that in cases? I see that in my cases here. So yeah, I have since this is my test site, I have Facebook and Twitter pages added and get all kinds of cases. So let's see. Let's open a normal case. And the sync to SF field should, I don't have it here in my case view because I've hidden it, but if you have a standard case theme, you should be able to see the sync with SF field right here. And then you can just say yes or no for that field, click on update, and that case will sync with SF. Let's see if I have it for the customer tab. There you go. So these are like some custom fields that are created. So test sync, testing. So you can create custom fields of the list type and then tell Desk to sync them with Salesforce. So this is about selective sync. Next, I wanted to show you field mapping. So let's go back to the Desk Connect part and let's go to Desk Connect. Field mappings right here. Takes a little while to load. So if you remember from the slides, I told you that we can sync, and we also have custom fields that we can sync. Custom fields can be syncable and mappable from here. So let's start with cases. So this is where I map all of my custom fields. This is a Salesforce column, and this is the desk column. So these are all on the left-hand side. You see all of the fields that are available in Salesforce right now. And this is where I have the freedom to map those fields. So let's pick a field. Let's pick test. So this is a test custom field in Salesforce, which I have mapped to a test custom field in Desk. Let's take another look at, so for example, product is a custom list type field in Salesforce, and I can map it with any of these custom list type fields in Desk. And then once let's select something here. So once I select this, all of the product list values will come up here, and I can sync, I just have 2 values in this field, but I can sync, I can create more values on my field in Desk and just, map them together here. And the same goes for all kinds of fields that you have. These are the non-configurable fields, meaning that these are standard, the status and priority that we saw. The subject field is standard, and the case origin is standard as well. So we recommend. The same applies for customer. These are all my custom, fields in Salesforce, and these are my desk fields. I really haven't mapped anything, but the no mapping option really just tells me that, I need to map this field without one. And, I really don't need to do that. It's just the fields that I want to see values on, only those I need to read them here. These are my non-configurable fields, so the title, the business phone. This is not mappable. So if you see no mappable fields here, that means that it's not mappable. And like I said in the slides, we don't sync number fields. That's the reason you don't see anything here. So then let's go to see company, and then it's the same thing. You map so that I have no mappable fields for companies, and I have no mappable for companies in the non-configurable field section as well. Because companies, we really just map the account name. And that's about it. Brian, if you can remind me if I missed something, or we can just move over to questions.
Yeah, it looks like we can go ahead and move on to some questions. Let me start reading some of these out. Looks like we have a question around the historical case sync. When is historical case sync likely to be released?
That's a very good question, and we're already holding talks with the engineering team. We are really going to bring that up on the roadmap really, really soon because a lot of customers are asking for it. Unfortunately, I cannot give you an ETA, but I can tell you that that's something we're really going to bring very soon.
Okay, thanks. Looks like we have another question here. Does the automatic sync for contacts include secondary email addresses?
It does not include secondary. So basically, if you have like a standard field in your customer tab and you're trying to sync homework, um, I would have to check with the engineering team. We can probably discuss this offline because I've seen it working for a few sites, but I've not seen it working for all. So if you can, email the same question to support@desk.com, I can probably have someone answer that for you.
Okay. Let's see here. Another question. Can Desk Connect sync pre-existing Salesforce contacts, accounts, and cases? For example, can we import old Salesforce cases into Desk?
We can, but like I said, we need to update those cases in some or the other way in Salesforce so that the trigger can, really sync all that information. All we need to do is trigger the sync so that, it brings over information. So, pre-created cases, like before Desk Connect was even enabled, if you wanted to bring over any of the contact account and case, you can, but you just need to update them. But yes, that is possible.
Okay, great. Looks like we have another question here. Is it okay if the field is not yes, no? I have created a customer field of the list type with 3 drop-down options. I only want to sync for one of those options from the list.
Of course, yeah. It doesn't really mean that you need to have only two values. You can have as many values as you like, and one of these values will actually tell Disconnect to sync with Salesforce. And you can just put that value in like the selective sync, like I showed you here. So if you create a custom field of the list type with multiple values, you need to do is just select which value you want on the selective sync page, and that's it. So like if you go here, and let me just show you. If I have sync with SF, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can have as many values you like. You just have to select one here.
Okay. And we do have a lot more time still for Q&A, so I encourage you guys to keep on asking your questions. Let's move on to the next one here. I have extra case status values in Salesforce. By default,
Mhm,
they have been mapped to Desk.com statuses. How does it
mhm.
decide which value to give a case?
That's a very good question again. So the way it works is if you had multiple values in your Salesforce org, let me actually just show you those. So if you had multiple values, you only have fixed values in Desk, right? So what happens is if you had multiple values mapped to one value, say pending, then it picks the mapped with the status pending in Salesforce. Example, if you had a bunch of values, let's say you had new and then waiting for reply or something, and all of these were mapped to new, then when the case syncs with Salesforce, it's just going to see this first value here, the first value that's mapped. It's going to disregard all of the rest of the values that are still mapped with the new value in Desk. So that's why it's recommended that we stick to the new open pending and resolved in Salesforce so that even if you create custom values, it's still gonna default to the first value it's mapped with. So the workaround to that in Salesforce that you do not map with Desk and then work off of that if you wanted to have more than 4 values in Salesforce.
All right, great. Looks like we have another one here. Can Salesforce push contacts to Desk.com even if they do not yet exist as a customer in Desk?
Of
Preemptively
course.
set up inbound rules to label cases for new VIP customers.
Yeah, I mean, if you did not have customer records at all in your desk org and these were brand new contacts you wanted to pull into desk, you can definitely do that. It doesn't really need to have like a pre-existing customer in desk. If you had new contacts in Salesforce that you wanted to sync, you can just sync them over to desk.
Let's see if we have any other questions here. I don't think so. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and give you guys back 15 minutes of your day, and I'll send out the recording as I mentioned. For any other questions, even besides Desk Connect, I really encourage you guys to contact support, just for just some walkthroughs or any other questions that you guys have. We also have our video support center. A lot of that content has been created in the last 3 months, so it's relevant, it's current. So I encourage you guys to visit our video support center, and there's a link to it from support.desk.com as well. All right, I think that's all for today. Amrita, thank you so much for just for walking us through and sharing some of your knowledge.